that's what this guy was. This guy was a Russian plant living in America, waiting to
be activated. And we're live.
And we're live. Live on episode 5.
Do you know what I just thought of then? That Thailand video. Right, shall I try and find it, or is it a bit weird? Right, guys, this is a bit. We're just starting off on a dark turn, but I can't stop thinking about this. Are we allowed to? I'm just gonna go for it. There's a video, and it is. I don't know where they've put this hidden camera. It looks like the GoPro.
It's maybe like on his bag or
right. So a guy's got a GoPro on his chest, and he's walking. He's in Thailand, and he's walked into a establishment,
a house of ill repute,
house of whores. And the caption said, "A new Cardi B song in the making." Did you know it said that? Yeah. So this guy is walking in. I'm going to put the clip up, and then for people that are just watching, for people that are just listening, this is what he says. And it's just made me think of that because we were talking about...
yeah. And for people who are just listening, there's just a row of about 20 women just standing there in line.
As he walks in, they all stand up. And then this is what the madame, I guess she's the madame, says. Oh my God.
It gets me every time that the last one is "look in my eyes."
And someone said it's a great sales pitch. She didn't miss anything.
No, it reminds me of Idiot Abroad when Carl Pilkington was in Egypt and all the people keep walking up. And it even happens in Dubai Marina. They just walk up to you with a menu.
Yeah.
And they're like, tea, water, coffee, orange juice, pineapple juice. And they just rattle off the full menu.
Exactly.
As you're like walking by. We've been going for a run. We've been in gym clothes on like a 5K.
So it's like,
and the guy's like,
I'm like, do I look like I can eat lamb chops right now?
Chicken tikka, chicken masala.
Butter chicken. How about fucking cold towel and water? They are just like robots. Maybe they are robots.
Maybe. AI's taking over. But yeah, it reminds me of that every time, but it's definitely a different buffet.
Someone said, I'll just take a cheeseburger and fries. Yeah, and so I'll just take a water, please. Ain't no way she's holding up a menu. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that exists. But you know what's weird? Why is it that just exists for men? I wonder, I don't think it would work if it was just a row of men. Or would it? Would some girls be into that? Maybe.
I'm sure it exists. It's definitely just not as common.
Really? You think that?
Of course it exists.
With men?
Have you seen Deuce Bigelow?
No? What's that? What did you say?
Deuce Bigelow.
Deuce.
Male gigolo.
Deuce
Bigelow.
Is that a name?
Yeah.
Is it a movie?
Yeah.
Deuce Bigelow.
You know Rob Schneider, Adam Sandler's friend.
Yeah.
So he plays a male stripper, or not a male escort, rather.
Right.
So yeah, it's a thing.
But Jim, that's a movie.
Yeah, but it's definitely a thing. There's male strippers.
You are talking like this is part of your past life. It's definitely a thing.
It's on my CV.
But it's definitely not as common. It's not as known. But let's just imagine what that would look like. There'd have to be a certain caliber of man. Because girls are quite fussy, I think.
What would the menu list be?
Hang on. I think, let's just explore this a second. Because I think for girls, for girls, it's easier to look. I think it's easier to be better looking. I think an average girl can look better than an average man. If you're kind of average as a guy, wear a good haircut, maybe nice clothes. But I feel like do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because if it was just a row of guys, you've just got Steve and Gary. You know, like you're going to have... Do you get what I'm saying? I just don't know if it'd quite have the same sex appeal.
No.
Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe like good-looking Thai boys.
I don't know. Controversial topic. You know,
this is still like playing.
Might get canceled, but I think a lot of it is because, you know, most, if not any woman could go on a night out, and if that was their goal, they could end up successful on any given night. Much, much, much more so than a guy.
That is true. And why is that? Is it true though? I've got a lot of
100% it's true.
I got a lot of single horny friends that would probably beg to differ. Oh, but yeah, okay.
If that was the goal,
Okay.
they could make it happen.
I get what you're trying to say. But why is it like that? Why is it? There is such a difference, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, 12,500.
It's because women have standards.
Is it? And men don't.
Maybe. We're very generalizing.
Yeah, no, we are. Anyway, should we just move on from this topic?
Yeah.
But that is quite...
Well, what would the list be if it was a row of men?
Oh, God.
What would the menu be? Like, listen to your problems, clean up the dishes. Like, what would the list be of the saleswoman?
Or the salesman.
Yeah, the salesman. What would he?
It'd be pretty filthy. I don't want to go down this line. Let's just move on.
Have a cuddle.
Have a cuddle.
Staycations.
Oh yeah, so last weekend we went to Abu Dhabi for the UFC.
Yep.
I mentioned it in the last podcast, and I actually said that Kamaru Usman would win, and he did not.
No, he did not. He went to decision though. He didn't get knocked out.
He did well. He really did well. Do you know what's crazy as well? When you're watching the UFC from the stand, obviously it's so different and it goes by so much quicker. And if you just look away for 2 seconds, you could have missed. I missed. You
missed Volk get head kicked.
No. I saw that. I missed something else.
The Indian guy in the prelims get knocked out.
I missed like a couple of other things. I was like, fuck. But no, when Volkanovski took that kick to the head, I was literally watching that and I was like, whoa, I can't believe I just saw that.
Yeah.
But like, actually watching the UFC, it was very much like I had this really weird realization where like we were there in the moment. Like I was looking at these boys, these men. This is their job to smash. I have one job is to smash, just to smash people in the face and strangle people. And we were just watching it. I'm like, dude, these are just normal guys.
Right.
Like it's so easy when you're watching them on TV. It's like, oh, they are Adonises, they are gods, they are. But like just looking at them, there's their team. This is happening. I felt very much like we were in front of the cameras, not literally, but you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and we were a part of this. And like when it all buckles down, it just felt so real is what I'm trying to say. And it was just like, wow, it's just such a cool sport.
Well, it's interesting as well, like what you pick up on extra, but also what you miss when you're at an event because you don't get the commentary. So we didn't know what happened with the one that got stopped when he got kneed in the head. And you were like messaging one of your friends who was watching on TV. So they told us some information, but then they were asking us like, what the hell's going on? You know, it's really interesting when some sports live is better. Some it's almost worse. Like if you're at a UFC fight and it's all grappling, the commentary is so good because he's like, oh, he's moving it. If he moves his right leg, he'll be in a lot of trouble or he's trying to get position. We're just sitting there like, looks like they're cuddling.
Yeah, I do. Oh God,
but the energy was just unreal.
I like when they get down grappling because you know it is. Yeah, okay, it might just look like they're cuddling, but you know that is in their heads. They are like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and they're proper in it. Do you get what I mean? But yeah, that the energy there was unbelievable. But what's really interesting when you watch the UFC in the Middle East, because there was one fighter. Well, now there's two fighters that fight out of Dubai, Hamza, and there was another guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was a little boy behind us, this Arab boy. I'm spitting. There was an Arab boy behind us, and didn't he have the sweetest voice, like a proper Arabic voice accent? But he's like, yeah. Oh, he's like Mohammed. He just had like the sweetest voice, and he was just so cute. And we turned around to get a good look at him, and he was gigantic.
Yeah, he was a lot bigger.
He was not a little. I thought he was maybe like 6 or something. He was a big. He probably like 12, 13.
Yeah.
But he had the sweetest. What else was he shouting?
I don't remember.
He was just like people's names. Like he was just such a sweetheart. But where was I going with that train of thought? That people. Oh yeah. So there's only a couple of fighters that actually fight out in the Middle East. So when you're watching fighters out here fight, it's just a lot of neighboring countries. So because we're so close to Russia and all the stands, so all those Muslim fighters all their fans are here.
Yeah, some guy next to me said it was 70% Russia and Dagestan fans. But the main card, all 5 fights had a guy from Dagestan in it.
Yeah, and when we've been to the UFC before, it was the same.
Yeah.
But I think even, so it was basically just full of Russians. And yeah, people from Dagestan. And there's 2 million people in Dagestan. That's not a lot of people.
No, and 15,000 of them were at this event.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, God, what the flights, like what they must have to like double up the flights and stuff.
Surely.
But yeah, so basically for people that don't know, people from that region, men, there was no women from Dagestan there. Men from that region, if you want to know what they look like, they have beards, full beards with no mustache.
White t-shirt, bum bag across their chest like a seatbelt. And usually like a hat kind of like this with a little Gucci or Prada stripe.
Oh, yeah. And they kind of look Asian-y. And I mean Asian like me Asian, like Southeast Asian.
Yeah.
It's kind of like these kind of people, they're beautiful, but they're like, like if China and Russia got together, which is basically what it is.
Yeah.
So they're like big, tall men or big, tall women that kind of look Chinesey, but they're huge. Because normally Southeast Asian people are tiny. It's like little, like all my family members say, hello. But so it's just full of them. Good luck if you are one of those people and you're there with like your dad or something. If you lose him, you're knackered because they literally all look the same. And obviously I was cheering for Usman, who's from Nigeria. And I was like, where are all the Africans? They are not here.
No.
And as soon as we got there, I'd been trying to get a flag because Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian fighter, he only got put on the card last minute. And I was like, oh my God, I really want a flag. Like, it would be so cool because he's like one of my favorite fighters. Got the flag, got it made, got to the gates of the stadium, and they were like, no flags. Flag, no, not allowed.
He was all business.
Oh God, he was so annoying. So I didn't get my flag, which was embarrassing.
Did I tell you that one of the guys in the office asked if you were Nigerian?
I think my ethnicity does confuse people. You know, Lee.
Nigerian, though?
Corey's Lee. He thought I was black.
Yeah.
He might have thought I was like half Nigerian or like quarter Nigerian.
Yeah. You're just an Usman fan.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. But the crowd was, and it's going to be really interesting if we ever go to Manchester, if we ever go to England or America and watch the UFC, because it will not.
No.
It'll be probably low-key racist against the other fans. It'll be
Right.
like severe booing.
But I really, really want to do that because as good as the energy was, it definitely felt like it's kind of a mixed, like there isn't a home crowd, for example. I don't know,
True. You're so right. I think that fight, Yaya, they were kind of hoping he would be.
There was some good support for Yaya, and he had some good moments.
He did.
He had some good moments.
Was he called Yaya Ramadan?
No,
he probably
Muhammad Yaya.
Mohammed. Oh, that little boy was so cute.
What about the guy next to us? We need to talk about this. So there was this guy on the other side of you. He was very tall. He was probably 6'5", very lanky. And he just looked as Russian could be.
Right. Describe him.
Pasty white like me, but wearing skinny jeans, really, really tall. Those like, I don't know if they're Puma. They look like F1 racing shoes.
Okay, yeah.
And he had a polo on, but with like a lot of writing.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if it was Ralph Lauren brand, but like the big embroidered writing.
Yeah.
You know, you just...
And the seatbelt, man bag.
And the man bag, like a seatbelt. And he had asked you to take a couple pictures of him and stuff. And that was about the extent of the interaction.
But because he was sat like next door but one to me, which we needed that space because he had really long legs.
Yeah.
When we were talking to each other or when we were talking to the other people that side, he kept looking over and listening didn't he?
Yeah, the whole time he was...
And I thought in my head, God, he's dying to talk to us.
He wanted to say hi so bad.
So much.
And the guy to the right of me, the guy who was in the wrong seats. So to the left of us was a father and son from Dagestan. And the dad sits down, doesn't speak a word of English.
Oh my, bless
and
him.
The woman on the other side of him was like, oh, sorry, excuse me, but those seats are taken. And he just goes, and then he looks at us, shows us the tickets, and it was row G.
Yeah.
And we were in C. And I said, no, that's G. We're in C. And he goes, yes. Just sits there. Then I pulled up my ticket, pointed to the C, pointed to the G, and he goes, yes.
And I was like, Jim, tell him. Because as we first got there was a big row of like 7 guys. And they were like, brother.
All. beard, no mustache.
Yeah.
Dagestan.
And they didn't speak good English. And I was there like a bat out of hell because I was like, you're in our seats. But brother, but weren't talking to me. Dead rude. Brother, nobody is in their seats. I was like, that doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
But we had like a bit of a conflict with them, but then they disappeared. They actually said like, I'm not interested in these English fighters or something. And they left. So then when we sat down and some more wrong people came to seats, we were trying to give him a heads up, like, by the way, there are like 9 brothers that are probably going to kick you out your seat. He did not care.
No.
At all.
No, not even a little bit. And I even said, I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4 back.
He
I was
said
like C, D, E, F, G. And he went, yes. This the only thing he said is yes.
And then his son came, sat down. They exchanged some words. The conversation of C and G came up again. And we told the son, who did speak really good English. And he went, oh, okay. And just like unpacking all of his stuff.
He had like 5 bits of food, 3 or 4 drinks, because we were on the front of the balcony where there's the counter. And he's just putting stuff in front of me. I'm like, are we sharing? What's going on here? Yeah, it was a very interesting.
Wrong seat. Cool. Let me just get on my food.
But then the point of that is he kept talking to me quite a bit.
Yeah.
So when he was talking to me, that was when the other guy, he was like, oh, and the Americans on the other side of those guys were talking to them and kind of like picking who's going to win and stuff. So you could tell that guy was on his own. He wanted to be involved so bad. And he just leans in. Where are you from? I said, oh, from the US, from America. And he goes, nice to meet a fellow countryman. And he puts his arm like over you to shake his hand. And I was like, what did he just say? Nice to meet a fellow countryman. So I shake his hand.
And then what did I say?
And no, so I said, where are you from? In, if he said fellow countryman, obviously is American.
No.
When you say, where are you from? It's like, what state, what Northeast, something like this. And he goes, United States. I can't do accents. He didn't even really have an accent. It was just
the accent you're doing is good.
he goes, United States. And you went, Dagestan? And he goes, Arizona? And oh, cool. And then he didn't ask me where I was from or anything. So that was the extent of the conversation. And then just kind of looked back. And
Suspicious.
Yeah, a bit suspicious. And then like maybe 5 minutes goes by and then he leans in and he goes, if you hear me talking Russian, it's because back home I talk Russian a lot with people I know.
And he said it in the thickest Russian accent.
Oh, yeah, I was like, what? We didn't ask that. You just said, if you hear me speaking Russian, it's because I speak Russian back home.
Okay.
You're like, cool, good facts. 30 seconds later, he goes, are you guys going back to Dubai after the event? No, absolutely not.
Even if we were, no. What do you want?
All I kept thinking, have you seen the movie Salt? So there's this whole like conspiracy theory, right? That Russia sends like babies to America.
Oh.
Or like they brainwash kids to be assassins and teach them how to be American. Then they go to America just hiding in plain sight. Oh, nice to meet a fellow countryman. And then like they hear some song, they hear like Eye of the Tiger and they get activated and they're just like, must kill president. Like,
wait, this is in the movie?
Yeah.
Or is this a conspiracy theory around America?
Both. It was a big thing in like the Cold War.
Was the movie based on the conspiracy theory rumor?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what this guy was. This guy was a Russian plant living in America, waiting to
be activated. He was so strange.
And then he kind of followed us around because we had a friend who was sitting in the balcony below.
Yeah.
So afterwards, we moved down a couple of rows and we were like trying to wave over the balcony.
He was
and
there.
I turned and he stood right.
He was so tall. He's like Lurch.
He just stood there like.
And he had a bit of a lazy eye as well. So he was kind of looking forward, but kind of looking at us.
I thought he was going to follow us out.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
A fellow countryman.
Yeah. Then he started talking. He stood over us to speak Russian to these guys.
I was literally watching the fight under him, and he's like, and I was like, what are you doing, you weird man?
I thought they were like planning to follow us, or
God.
I didn't know what was going on.
Don't follow us. We don't know anything.
I know. I started thinking like, what information does he have on me?
Oh, really? Did you get a bit paranoid?
Not really, but when I started running with he's a Russian plant theory, I started thinking like, can he hack my phone? Can he?
What I love is that obviously we didn't have that conversation that you thought he was a Russian plant in the moment because he was right there and we're in the UFC and it's so loud. And just like towards the middle of the night, you like said something to me like, I think he's a Russian spy or so. That was the only thing and it just really tickled me. But yeah, that was funny. And there was a guy like next door but 2 or whatever to you. It's quite an active row, wasn't it? And he was American.
Yep.
And he was from Florida?
Yeah.
Miami, Florida. And you guys were kind of talking, fellow countrymen. And after it, you were like, is that what I sound like?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I hate meeting Americans over here. Not all, but yeah, sometimes just hearing the way I'm so used to not hearing American accents anymore.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like day-to-day work, everything like this. So when I hear it, it is a bit jarring now.
When I hear the northern accent, I really like it. But you have the opposite effect. It has the opposite effect on you.
I think it's just the way, because like names of things out here are so different than anything you've ever said.
Right.
It's impossible to sound like you know what you're talking about, even if you do.
Right. So just give me an example of like a sentence.
Geez, I don't know. Like when people talk about...
What about like, I was going down Sheikh Zayed Road
Yeah.
to Dubai Mall.
Dubai.
Yeah, the Americans say it like that, don't they?
Yeah.
It is funny.
It's funny, but yeah, it's... They come here on holiday and they love it, but then they can't believe that I live here.
Right.
And I'm like, are you having a good time? Do you enjoy it? And they're like, oh, it's one of the best places I've ever been. And then they're like, but you live here? But not in like a, oh, that's really exciting. It's like, how could you do that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it just seems like that would be a crazy idea to them to live here.
There's something going on with this. I've always got really dry lips. But yeah, that was so funny with that guy. Because it was so funny that in that moment, because it was busy, we didn't talk about it in the moment. It was so funny afterwards
Because
to
the
like
whole
have a little
time-
bitch session about it. I was like, that's so funny. He
The
was
whole
so
time we were like, what is going on with this guy?
Well, I just thought it was a bit weird. I just thought it was weird because I just thought, oh, he wants to talk to us. And he said, can you take a picture of me? So I did. It was quite a good picture because he's like leaned like that way and then the octagon's behind him. I put Flash on. Flash is no one's friend.
No.
In a sweaty...
In a dark arena. Yeah.
Yeah, bless him. It was a hot mess. But he was there, the octagon was there. It was a pretty cool picture. And then it was like half an hour later, I thought, oh, I must have been thinking about this the whole time. He went, can you take another picture with no flash? I was like, okay, weirdo. But that was that. We saw the fight. Yeah, it was really, really good. And it's such a cool sport.
Yeah, it was great. And that arena as well, like that whole setup is one of the best, like just to get in and out of, this little activations and stuff they have going on outside.
Yeah, true.
Like outside the arena, there's like a big courtyard so they can put all different marketing and branding and events and little things like that. They had a DJ outside. They had all the new restaurants that are down there on the waterfront. It's easy to get in and out, parking. Like the UAE does things right like that.
God, you
sometimes
mean sponsored by Etihad
no,
Arena?
but like sometimes you try to go to a Patriots game.
Yeah.
It's like $50. It's probably more now. It's probably close to $100. When I was a kid, it was like $50 for parking.
Was it not a nickel?
No, it was really expensive. And it's like
yeah.
a mile away. And you have to, when you leave the game, it's 45 minutes of traffic just to get out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
We were
always,
in and out.
I always think that about the F1, that it's just a nightmare to get home.
Yeah,
They
but
might-
F1 is probably 200,000 people. That's different. This UFC had 15,000, 16,000.
Yeah, Dubai does that right. The UAE knows. Because they set up everything after everyone else, the Patriots. Like, they can look at how other people do it wrong. Like the airport. Dubai airport is like that.
Yeah, it's so easy.
Seamless. Anything else about Abu Dhabi?
Staycations. That's how we open this. Mm-hmm. We love a staycation.
We don't do them enough.
No, we don't.
So basically, Jim treated me we stayed in the St. Regis in Abu Dhabi.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Abu Dhabi, by the way, is huge.
It's massive and it's beautiful.
Like you're driving over bridges and it's just like tropical oceans. It's just like, whoa. but it's not as popping as Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm happy that we live in Dubai because that's got a lot more going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe I'm 6-7 years in and I've only just discovered. That's the first time I've been like to the depths of Abu Dhabi.
Mm-hmm. But that's not even the city. We didn't even get into the city, did we? That's just on an island.
So we stayed in the St. Regis and it was just beautiful. When we first got there, I was already in Abu Dhabi with work. So when I got to our hotel, I was a little bit tired and stuff. And this very overconfident, just a lot over the top guy, he was like, I am called Chatty. I will be your butler. And I was like, okay, you're a lot, but this is quite fun. We have a butler. And he was like, want me to show you around your room? The room was not big enough to have a full tour. I was like, you could probably just point at things from the doorway.
Toilet, shower.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not from Mars. But I did. Because I thought, well, you know what? Let's see what you got, Chatty. He showed me around and then he was like, want me to help you unpack? No, that sounds like a terrible idea. You're going through my undies. But yeah, the hotel was lovely. We had breakfast buffet. It was just nice. It's just nice to get away, isn't it?
There's something about a staycation. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But you find me so much funnier on a staycation. Like from the moment we walk into that room, it's like this force field or something. Any like dad jokes or something that would usually cringe you out. If I just say a word in a funny voice, you die laughing. And I always think, how far can I push this? I need to get as much of this out as I can on this staycation.
Do you know, I was actually thinking, why do I love you so much on a staycation or when we travel? And I think what it is because we're in a new environment, I just love your take on things.
Okay.
Like I love your, I don't even know. I just think I don't know why I think you're so funny.
I could say the stupidest thing like, hairdryer in a bag. But if we were at home and I like reach for the hairdryer, you'd be like, get out of my way. Can you go do that in the other room? It's not enough space.
Wait, let's psychoanalyze this. It's something to do with your take on new things. Is it a sense of like we're just discovering something new and then you're bringing like a bit of humor to it? Or I don't know.
I don't know, but literally.
I think that's what it is.
Because you hate like cheesy dad joke type stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's pages I follow on Instagram and stuff, and you're like, get that off. Like you, and there's be a couple that I think are quite like, all right, this is just funny. This isn't a dad joke.
Yeah.
And you'll just like throw a stank face. But you were dying. And every steak, we usually do it for like birthdays, don't we? We try to do a little staycation. And it's great.
I wondered now that you've flagged it if I just won't find you as funny anymore.
God, I hope not. That's what usually happens. You know what I think is important in life though?
Okay, let's hear it.
You need either moments or friends especially that think you're a lot funnier than you are.
Yeah.
I've got this friend back home, my buddy Dan. Dan thinks I'm a world-class comedian. Everything I say when I'm with a group of like 10 people will always bust Dan up.
No.
Always. And I've said it to him. I'm like, Dan, I love when you're here because I just feel so funny when no one else cares.
Yeah. Oh,
so
that's nice.
You need people like that to kind of big you up a little bit. So that's, staycations is our...
Oh, where you shine.
Yeah.
Oh. But thank you for that trip. It was dead nice.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah.
We need to do more.
And I like when we try, I remember our first trip to America when you brought me home, your trophy wife. I remember I really fell in love with you more that trip because I like seeing you in your natural habitat. And when you play tour guide,
I love playing tour
yeah,
guide.
you're very, very, very good at it. I really can't be asked most of the time if I'm just like, let's do that. If I brought you to England or whatever, but you're really good. And yeah, it's cool seeing. I think I enjoy seeing you in like new environments.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it's fun, especially going home. Because I only go home maybe once every year and a half. So for me, it's exciting to go to places that I used to go to when I was growing up or something, or stuff that used to be a regular hangout. But then to do that with you as well, it's like if it's a place that I've been a million times with my best friends, it's still nice. But to see someone experience it for the first time is really cool.
Oh,
You didn't do that in Berry, though.
no.
I went to Berry Market on my own.
Oh. Did you? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I told
What did you
that.
get? Did you get anything nice?
No, I just had a little walkabout. Yeah, fish.
It's big, that market.
It's massive.
I think it's the world's biggest market.
It's not, but it was voted best market in England.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, it was.
World famous. They have a song. Let's see.
Berry Market has a song.
Yeah, and it plays. It's like Monday, Friday, Saturdays.
It's not £1 fish.
Berry Market song. Oh my God, please. Where we are now. Berry Market song. Where we are now.
You know what? You know what I thought about Berry Market though? If like when we'd go to Altrincham Market or anything like that, when it's kind of like a sidewalk sale, street market, whatever you want to call it. I want things that are like little kind of side hustles and somebody who's like a little startup business and they make stuff. And even if it's a mug or something that's functional, it doesn't have to just be art, but it's like, oh, okay, handmade bowls or something. It's just, and then you talk to the people and, you know, they're really passionate about it. Just the experience of walking around a market is great. Berry Market felt like just stuff that you could get at a store.
At a discount.
It was like an outdoor Dragon Mart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, discounted price, but like there was cell phone chargers but I didn't understand like
Jim,
why you would want to go there.
Jim, I'll tell you why. We're practical people. People in Bury aren't asked about hearing how you came to make a piece of pottery. We just need a phone charger, a plastic bag, one of those bags on wheels. Like, we're not interested in your holistic journey and how you now make beads out of whatever. If you want that, you need to go, I don't know where that exists. Maybe Altrincham Market. It's practical.
Yeah.
The Northerners are practical.
There was a guy
They
that
haven't
like
got time for your
there was a guy in
foolishness.
Altrincham Market. I never bought any of his clothes, but he like spent some time in Japan, and it was like Japan and Western kind of fusion clothing. He made like jeans and it was really interesting. But I didn't buy anything.
Did you talk to him?
No.
No. So what are you even after? What are you after? Stop wasting everybody's time.
It's just interesting window shopping. Like,
Yeah, you're right. No, Berry Market, you've hit the nail on the head. It's just practical.
yeah,
And there's lots of clothes, like granny clothes.
was there?
No, I don't know.
I remember there being a lot of fish.
Oh, yeah, the fish market's huge.
Yeah.
Remember I used to go there as a kid with my mom and I'd just hold her hand and I'd be like, whoa. And I used to think that the people that worked there were like really cool.
Do they throw the fish like they do in
Yeah,
Seattle?
yeah, and I wonder if there's anything about it online. And some of them would be like good-looking people, like younger people, and they would get your fish. I've got 3 for $7 going.
Look in eyes.
What?
Look in eye.
Look at No, but they would be like, we've got this, but it's going £7. That they literally do that. Did you not even go in and experience that?
I literally just like walked. I did one lap of the place. I think I had some time to kill.
Berry Market song, Where Are We Now? A parody song about my hometown, Lancashire town Bury, famous for its market, Sir Robert Peel and black pudding. This is probably going to be shit. I wonder where the Berry Market song is. Is this connected to the wood? No, I can't listen to that.
No.
Where is the Berry Market song? A fab day in Berry Market. Tracy and Colin. No, I can't find it. If anyone, please, can find it and send it to me, that would be amazing. Or if anyone's just in Berry Market, just record it. What were we saying then? Oh, we need to just play this because I think it's really, really funny.
This is bad.
Hello. We consider them to be what?
Oh, hang on. Let me play it again. Maybe, do you think the video will be on YouTube?
Maybe. Can I just loop back to one thing about the UFC and then you can in the edit?
Yeah, of course you can.
So one of the moments from the UFC, we saw a guy get kicked in the nuts harder than anyone's been kicked in the nuts.
Did he get kneed in the nuts?
No, it was a kick.
Yeah.
They went for like a low kick as he stepped forward and kind of opened his legs. And he very cartoonishly went like head back, knee. He almost looked like he was doing the worm.
Yeah. That's what I missed.
Yeah, you missed him fall and then you saw the replay.
Yeah.
But I did a bit of research on it. I felt bad. People started booing him. Because usually in the UFC, like, you catch a shot, you're wearing a cup, you get 5 minutes to compose yourself, and then you decide if you want to continue. Usually a minute, 2 minutes, a couple deep breaths, okay, I'm good. But because most people do that, that's become the expectation of the crowd. You know, in what world would someone be injured, he was writhing in pain. He couldn't stand up. He kept trying to stand up and he collapsed.
Yeah.
And the whole arena started booing him. I felt bad.
And you know what? The whole arena was mainly men. Like, was there no empathy?
I know.
Or do you think that's why they were booing them? Like, go on, get up, you pussy. It's not that bad.
I think it's because other fighters have continued. But I did a little research to kind of see what happened.
Yeah.
And the doctor, well, let me get the quote. The doctor said to him, "It wasn't your balls."
What do you mean?
Because the doctor was trying to say he was faking it.
It wasn't your balls.
That got kicked.
Oh.
And the fighter replied, "It was all dick and balls." Yeah, and apparently he was vomiting backstage. He went to the hospital. They were swollen to the size of grapefruits.
That doctor, was that the same one from the Johnny Walker fight?
Yeah, he did not have a good night.
So he still got sacked.
Yeah.
That
You can't sit next to a guy who is bright red, writhing in pain, and say, you didn't get kicked in the nuts.
What a weird thing to say. That's weird.
Bad.
Right. Are you ready for this?
When we refer to someone as yellow, we consider them to be what?
Chinese?
Not Chinese. Over to Jerry and Mary. Now. Yes, Jerry.
Cowardly.
Cowardly is correct.
And then it goes back to her.
It cuts back to the kid
I
who
like
said it.
I like when she thinks about it.
Refer to someone as yellow, we consider them to be what?
Chinese?
Not Chinese. Over to Jerry and Mary. Now.
Over to the Chinese kid.
Cowardly.
Cowardly is correct.
Bless him.
You know what? He stayed focused.
He didn't let that racial slur
Yeah.
distract him.
No. And hopefully that question was worth $1 million.
Why is it? Is that a thing though that people are considered yellow?
Yes.
Really?
I've heard that before.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
would I be considered yellow?
You looked yellow with that mask on.
Oh yeah, we did turmeric face masks last night, and obviously turmeric is very yellow.
Yeah,
And then after it, you kept saying I still look yellow.
you did.
But is that a thing that people were called yellow?
Yeah.
But who is considered yellow?
Southeast Asians.
So me.
Yes.
Do you ever think I look yellow?
No.
But I don't think I look yellow.
No, you don't.
I think if you're yellow, you're ill.
Yes, jaundice.
Funny that though, isn't it? That's so funny.
You can't write that's who it cuts to.
Oh God, I was wondering why they are both correct. No, not Chinese. Over to the yellow boy.
Jesus.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe there's something else I wanted to show you that I saw on Instagram. God, Instagram reels are just like amazing.
Did you see the one of the mom? I don't know if she was an influencer or what, but the dog just died.
Yeah, you sent that to me.
Yeah.
Let's
so,
watch that. Where do I?
I don't know.
No, wait, you sent it to me. Text
Usually
it.
when I send stuff to you, you don't watch it. So
That's true. Oh no, do you know what? Most of the time I've already seen it.
you've just completed it.
I know, that's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? Where is it? Oh, yeah. Let me just send it here so we can watch it. What was that? Okay. So it says, Mum forces her son to take a thumbnail for her YouTube channel just after his dog died.
We're a family. So if you could pray for us, we appreciate it. I love you guys. Bye. Come here. Come closer for the video. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Put your head right here. Come closer. Closer down. Put your head down here. Act like you're crying. Really quick.
I didn't cry.
She's
Go like this.
No, Mom, I'm actually seriously crying.
No, I know, but go like this for the video. Go like this. Put one hand up. Go like this. No, go like this. Put your hand like this. But let them see your mouth. Let them see your mouth.
Oh, God. She's getting angry.
No, Mom, I'm actually crying.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I'm actually crying.
I know. Look at me. Look at me. Look at the camera. Look at the camera.
God.
She's awful.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's over, it's over, it's over.
Also, her directions are so confusing. This poor little boy. Look at me, look at me, look at the camera, look at me. Put your head there. It's just like, oh God.
The first time I saw that, I did laugh when she's like, "Look like you're crying." He goes, "I am crying." When I was like, okay, that's kind of a funny, cute moment. But then, so, like, and you start to wonder, how often does this happen? Like, is this child abuse? If she's making him, I mean, he must be what, 6? Even in general, like the kid's dog just died, and she's trying to get him to pose for a photo to get attention.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
So then, is it like everything they do in that house? Does she have to like make him perform and everything?
Well, do you know what? There is a bit of a debate, I think. I don't know where the debate is, but there's a bit of a debate that exists about kid YouTube stars, that there are no regulations. Like, I remember when I was younger and I used to watch like Britain's Got Talent or X Factor and stuff. And I remember learning that certain kids that were on Britain's Got Talent couldn't work past a certain time, or they could only be on stage for a certain time. Or I remember even learning about like twins.
I was gonna say that's what, like the Olsen twins. That's why they do that, so
Like,
they work
yeah.
half as much.
Or like on Big Daddy, that little boy is a twin, so there's
Yeah.
no. And now, yeah, people are saying that for you. So now there's loads of regulations in TV and movies for when kids and how long kids can work for and certain breaks. And they're saying that these YouTube kids, who's regulating them? I would like to think that they are doing it for the fun, and it's all done like, because with kids you can't really make them seem happy
Right.
or make them seem sad or whatever. But like, so I would like to think that you're only filming with them when they're actually having a good time.
But how many times did they have to try? How many takes did you have to do
Right.
to get the one where they look happy?
Oh, right. Yeah, there could be that as well.
Could be all day.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Or maybe it is easy for. Yeah. There's this girl that I've seen on YouTube. She's called Salish. Her dad's called Jordan Matter. I don't know if the dad had the account first. Anyway, she's huge. And her and her dad, it is quite sweet when you watch it. It's like, oh, that's really cute. And then it's really strange, right? She's got this friend, air quote friends, called Nadav or Nadal or something. And the storyline, they just do like standard YouTube kids stuff, like, let's spend 24 hours in a water park, or let's play hide and seek in a water park, or let's give $1,000 away to someone in the mall, like all that kind of stuff that people on YouTube do. But then there's like this recurring storyline, because he's like a character as well. He's got his own page that those two are dating, and it's like
Kids.
I think they're like 13,
Okay.
which is still young. And it's like, I'll show you them. And it's like our first kiss, and they do all this stuff like on the channel Salish, where it's like, yeah, that's the guy. Oh, that's the boy.
Yeah.
And they'll do all this stuff like, look, Salish and Ferran, this has got 1 million views, kiss on camera. And these are kids, like they're young, but like they do all this kind of stuff, or they'll like joke about dating. Like, I wouldn't do this in front of my dad. Like, that's like the storyline,
But it's like produced.
but it's like produced. But when you watch it, you're like, okay. But then like when I watch it, because the kids that I will look after watch it, and then from the sidelines, like when the kids are watching it, it's just like a funny storyline, like it would be like on Netflix show, like, oh, this is her boyfriend in school or whatever. But then from the sideline, I'm like, this is a bit weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's just, yeah, it's
What
weird.
did you just search though to find that? Because you're gonna get put on a list.
No, I literally just put her name. It's one of
Okay.
her videos. But yeah, it's like these young YouTube kids, who's regulating them?
Nobody.
Because
It's impossible to regulate.
Yeah, but-
Unless you can't upload to YouTube, unless you have to be like certified and that's YouTube's never going to do that.
And what I worry about as well, I don't know how many YouTube Kids stars there are. Let's say there's 100
Oh,
Right.
it's way more than that.
that are viral.
Yeah, but think about wannabe YouTube kids.
This is what I was getting at. So what I worry about is for these guys, like they've got a huge following. Look, like this 13 million views, 9 million views. Like they rack up like tens of 20 million views. Like this video she put out 10 days ago, it's got 9 million views. Like they get a lot of views. So I worry like for every big star, there's probably going to be up and coming ones that aren't making it. And then in that environment when they're filming, like if you're not doing well, like what's the pressure like at home?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's not a normal life.
And yeah, and I think they're just so, I think because I've worked with kids before, I understand how fragile they are. And literally, if there is like a little chink in their existence, they're growing up, like if there's a dent in it, like some sort of trauma or something that's not right, it has such a ripple effect. Like, have you ever seen, there's like that picture of like, it's like a brick wall. And it's like when one of the bricks at the bottom is wrong, it affects the whole wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's it with kids, right? You have to be so careful about how you're raising them. Otherwise, they're just going to be strippers. Or they're going to end up in Thailand doing, no, but you know what I mean? What I'm getting at.
It's that burnt toast theory, but to the extreme.
Yeah. So I just we'll get to that in a minute, I think. But yeah, what do you think about all that kids stuff?
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's new territory, isn't it? Like it's just this new world of fame, but then you're introducing it to kids from such a young age.
Right. Like the whole thing with, influencers, and there's that page Influencers in the Wild, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Just seeing like weird people do weird things for entertainment and for clout or whatever. But like to make kids do that, like they don't understand the scale of the internet and the scale of views, and like it can, what am I going to say? Like psychologically, social media and likes and followers and stuff can have a big impact on a 40-year-old,
Right.
whose brain is developed and who has been through some things and can try to understand emotion and stuff, and it can mess you up. What the heck is that going to do to a 10-year-old kid?
You are so right. You are so right. And like, yeah, from such a young age, like these kids go on like Snapchat streaks. Have you heard of this?
No.
So if I send you a Snapchat and you send me a Snapchat, that's 1 day streak. So, and then you can keep up a streak.
So it's like a goal. It plays on the psychology of wanting to achieve a goal or set a record, but it's to get you addicted to the app.
Exactly. So every day we have to send a Snapchat to each other, and then on our conversation, like on Insta, there will be like a flame and it'll have the number.
Sure.
And I'll bleep out her name, and those two. So the cousins, the young, one of them was going away to camp for like a weekend or something, and I was like, I've been given a login for Snapchat so I can keep up her streaks while she's away. I was like, oh my God, like it's a proper addiction.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's like a full-time job. But hang on, what were we just saying before you said that? It was making me say something about these lot.
The bricks, burnt toast theory.
The burnt toast theory.
Kids not being able to comprehend it psychologically.
Oh God, that's so annoying when it just goes out your head like that. Instagram. Oh yeah. So when I was in the UK, I was talking to this young girl. She's like 14. And, me and her were really, because she was like at that age, like she's a little bit older. She's into like fashion. She thought I was really cool, which I was like, I don't know. You kind of have to be a little bit cooler when a little kid thinks you're cool. It's like, oh. And I was saying, I can't remember what we were talking about, but we're talking about, I don't even know if, I might have even said, what do you want to do when you're older? Which is such an annoying question to ask a kid. And she said something about how she wants to get into influencing. I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, there's a girl in my school who did it and she really focuses on it. And like one of her videos got like 200,000 likes. She was like, so now that's all she focuses on. She was like, so I would love to just do that when I come out of school. It would be really good to just do that. And I thought, wow, I kind of knew that existed, but imagine now in schools, like if I'm sat, like in school, there were some classes that I thought was absolute hell. Like, why am I learning this? This is so annoying. And if I can go on my phone and I see like, I follow like 1,000 other kids that are my age that are getting millions of views, sponsorship deals, I would just focus all my attention on that. It must be so cloudy. But like, how do you raise a kid to not prioritize that?
It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. And that's what they say. They're worried about like, it's going to become an economy of nothing. Because all everyone wants, you look at it as, it's like fame, isn't it? It's like even if it's on a local scale, and it feels good getting the likes. It's dopamine hits. It's all this kind of thing, right? But what you're contributing to society is just entertainment, right? If you're an influencer, right, and you're putting out content, you're an entertainer. There's actors, there is an entertainment industry, but they worry that that's all everyone's going to want to do, because you can make millions, as a kid even, and get all of this positive attention and likes and follows. And, you know, everyone wanted to be when we were kids, everyone wanted to be the popular kid. And, you know, oh, I know this many people, I have this many friends. You wouldn't put a number on it, but if you can put a number on it, of course that's going to be addicting. That's human psychology. But then what are these people going to contribute? You know, are we not going to have mechanics and doctors and all this? And like, oh, I have to go to school 8 years to be a doctor and, you know, come out of it on as an intern. Or I could spend a couple hours in a podcast studio. And, you know.
I get what you're trying to say, but I don't know if it's necessarily that of much of a dark route, because I think if you're really good at it, then you could contribute to society in terms of you could then hire video editors, you could then hire social media managers, you could then hire podcast studios, you could then hire, you're making money, then you might buy a PA, you might hire a PA, you might spend more money, you might travel. Like, I definitely get what you mean. Like, you're not labor jobs or whatever, but that might just be the way the world's going. What I was thinking as you were saying that is, I think if we had a teenage kid that was kind of interested in that, I would want to say, if you're going to do it, be the best at it and see it as a business model and, you know, try and tackle it like that. But then how do you just steer them away from all the bullshit and the insecurities that come with being a teenager, then social media? So I think
Hopefully.
sorry, let me just finish this train of thought. I think what you have to do is just be the best at whatever you're going to do, be the best at it. So let's say if it was a boy, okay, now if you're really good if you've got another skill, like let's even say it was video editing, if that's the element of social media that you like, then focus on that. Or if it was a girl and it was fashion, okay, let's focus on that rather than like what you look. I don't know. I feel like you just have to try and channel it and try and take the power of social media and the beauty that the instrument that it could be and kind of channel it in a way that isn't going to ruin your life.
Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's still going to be a lot of hard work. Like to get to those levels
Right,
where you're
exactly.
massive, people think it's going to be easy. So
Exactly.
you know, if you're going to go that route, you need to understand that it's not going to be easy. And yeah, it can be very lucrative, but it's lucrative for people who are interesting, talented. Even if the talent is finding an opportunity, finding a niche that people will want to follow, even if it's stupid, like those, remember the NPC, like, yum.
Yeah.
You know, those ones. It's like, okay, it's weird, but they're an entertainer. And if they found something that people want, more power to you. But yeah, I just worry about, like you said, you know, oh, I want to do it because this person got this many likes. It's like, oh God. Because what happens if you don't get that many likes? Are you going to be sad?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like what opportunities is there? But if you can just, if you're hot and you can make money from putting pictures of your hot self on the internet, then isn't that good? But then I just worry what it does for your self-esteem. I think that is my problem with it. It's young kids and self-esteem anyway. I think if you've got strong self-esteem and you're quite secure, then okay, let's put your six-pack if you're a kid.
Yeah.
Let's just but that's what some girls do. Let's, you know, that's what I mean. It's just, I feel like it's an adult's game, but then kids are getting introduced to it. Let's just say it's fashion. So let's say if you can do that and make money off it, then why not? That's amazing if you could do that.
Yeah,
and you
of
could do it
course.
at such a high level. But yeah, I just think it's such a tough one for teenagers.
Hopefully, in my, you know, rose-colored glasses, what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to get really bad. It's already pretty bad, but I think it's going to get really bad.
Yeah.
To a point where the pendulum then swings back, and it either gets like more regulated or people get a bit sick of it,
Right.
you know, and they start to realize like there is a big revolution in like healthy eating and gym and stuff like this, and it got out of control in the 90s and 2000s of just people being lazy. And then it's like, you know, so hopefully it's that same, like it just gets extreme. Then people are like, whoa. I saw there was a protest from kids in Germany, I think, like 6 to 12-year-old kids were in the streets with signs protesting that the parents are on their phones too much.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's try and find that.
So they were all over Europe. So hopefully there's the realization of like how addicting it is and how it has all these negative impacts. People hopefully, like cigarettes or whatever. They're like, just screw this. I don't want it in my life anymore. We were off Instagram for like 2 years, 3 years.
And now look at us.
Yeah, now that all we do is watch reels in bed.
Oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Let's watch the short. We are here. We are loud. Because you are not looking at your mobile phones. Children took to the streets of Hamburg. How do you just mute it? Children took to the street of Hamburg protesting against excessive use of their mobile phones. The protest was led by 7-year-old Imal. I hope that after the demonstration, people will spend less time on their mobile phones. But what I worry is, who drove you to that protest? You didn't just get up and do it. Like, is this just virtue signaling from your mum and dad?
Oh God.
You know what I mean? They're not doing
Maybe
it.
they like
in
walked
school.
out of school. Yeah.
No,
Recess.
Only 7.
Yeah. Recess. Is recess a thing in
Yeah, but you
Germany?
don't leave school. I'm just going to head out at 7 years old.
Just marching down the streets
God's sake.
to the capital.
Let's go. But yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird, isn't it? And I just worry, because I think growing up, I know how insecure I was. So I think if I had a vice like social media, I just don't know if it would be a good recipe. I just really worry.
I love looking back through my Facebook memories, on this day to see if I've got any gold. I was so weird.
Oh, we all were, babe.
But like when Facebook first came out, it was only for people, you had to have a college email address because it was invented for
What was?
Facebook. When Zuckerberg invented it, it was made for college students to be like a community, right? So it was invented when I was in high school and I couldn't get it until I got to college. And then my first year in college, they made it open for everyone. And I was like, oh, I waited all this time and now it's open for everyone. But back in the day, I don't know if you remember this, but it used to say when you did an update, it would say,
What's this Facebook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jim Ruda is,
Right.
and then whatever you write. So you try to make it like a sentence.
Oh,
And there were times where I'd write updates like 4 or 5 times in a day. And like let's see if I can find a real example instead of trying to make something up.
Like, you would probably do like Jim Ruda is really hungry. He's bored at home.
Oh, this is great. On this day, 15 years ago, 2008. There's no timestamps, so I'm not sure of the order. Open with, Jim Ruda is working all day because it's gorgeous outside.
What does that even mean? You mean
Next.
sarcastic?
Next, Jim Ruda is craving Chinese food.
Wait, how old were you at this point? 2008.
20. I was 20 years old, and the next update was Jim Ruda is playing Monopoly online. Join me.
God. Jim, you were 20 years old. Me and you had very different 20-year-old.
No replies to that, by the way.
No one joined
comments.
you.
And then you have conversations. So craving Chinese food, somebody was like, me too. And I was, bring some, and having a full conversation on Facebook. Then it continues. I was very active on this day 15 years ago. Jim Ruda is hot on you, Elaine.
Is what?
Just spit all over everything.
Is what?
So
Jim Ruda
is hot on you, Elaine. It's a Seinfeld quote. There was a character in Seinfeld named Jimmy.
For a moment, I thought you were being Mr. Slick and sending a little message out to Elaine, but it's a Seinfeld quote.
It's a Seinfeld quote because the guy in Seinfeld, his name is Jimmy, but he refers to himself in the third person. So he says to Elaine, he's like, Jimmy is hot on you. And she thinks he's talking about someone else, leads to some miscommunication hijinks. Then because of my, Seinfeld reference knowledge, my next post is Jim Ruda needs to buy Seinfeld Seen It, which is like a trivia game because apparently I'm really good at quoting Seinfeld. So that was a...
I don't know if I've got... What year was it? 2008.
Yeah.
So I would have only been in year 10.
You just got to go on to memories, but
I
they're...
don't have it.
Oh, they're so good.
So when you were 20...
Yeah. I was craving Chinese food, playing Monopoly online Apparently, after I got out of work on a gorgeous day. It
What
couldn't have
were
been
you-
that gorgeous if I then played Monopoly online.
What? Yeah, it's gorgeous. I know what this calls for. A game of inside Monopoly. What? Where were you working at this point?
That would have been when I was in college. So I worked at the computer lab. It was the stupidest job I've ever had in my life. So
Is that a shop? The computer lab?
no, like in the university,
Okay.
there's a library and then a computer lab if you need to like type up some homework and print it out or something. So I used to sit at this desk for hours and I had two responsibilities. Number one, if someone printed something, the printer was behind the desk. I would grab it from the printer and hand it to them.
Important.
Yep. And then they installed this new system where they had like a paper rack on the wall, and I would take it and I would just put it in the rack if they didn't come up right away, and then they came up and got it later. That was my number one role. My number two role was to walk around the classroom and push back in the chairs if people got up and kind of left it a mess.
How much does a job like that pay?
Minimum wage.
What's that?
I don't know, like $7 an hour.
Balling.
But if we did overnights, you get time and a half. So I used to do that and play Monopoly online all night.
Overnight.
Yeah. It was 24 hours. So you'd work like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or something like that.
Someone does that job now, probs.
Yeah.
But you know what? Good for you, hustling.
Oh, yeah.
That's yeah, I like that. Okay. We've been watching the David Beckham documentary,
Amazing.
and it's been really interesting. So for me, it's been sort of reliving my youth. Is seeing like Bex in his glory, Posh in her glory. Like for me, that was like it all just came. It was so nostalgic, but it was really cool watching it with you and sort of showing you British culture.
Yeah, I'd never
At its
seen a lot of it
finest.
before. Like, obviously, I know the Spice Girls. I knew Beckham. You'd heard of his name before he came to America, like Ronaldinho, one of the best in the world. But then he came to America, and that was supposed to be, the next step for the MLS or whatever.
Do you think Bex is England's Kobe? Would that be a good?
I mean, same era for sure.
But you like
Definitely.
seeing his story and stuff, like child prodigy. He started with Man U when he was a kid. Kobe started with the Lakers when he was a kid. Like, and just how amazing they both are. Is it, or is he like, is it Bex and Jordan?
No, it's not Bex and Jordan. Jordan is greatest ever. Bex is up there, but not. It's tough with soccer as well because it's the whole world. Like
Yeah.
the NBA.
True.
And now it's getting more international. But
But in terms of like, I think Beckham is very much respected.
oh, definitely.
Like even just
But-
like socially, people respect him.
Not in that documentary.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't
at the time.
believe that. Like I was getting upset when he got that red card, which shouldn't have been a red card.
Yeah, true.
he got pushed down and he barely flicked his leg out of the guy, and the guy
Yeah.
embellished it. Maybe a yellow card. He
yeah.
didn't. But the reaction, he's a disgrace. That was the word the media kept using, and people. I couldn't believe the reaction from the English people was so intense, and like for years, and people booing him and yelling out all this horrible stuff at him, like because of I would be yelling at the ref. Why did he get a red card? Or he would be a disgrace if someone kind of got in his face like Zidane, and Zidane just headbutted the guy. Okay, and then you lose the game. You're a disgrace. You couldn't control your emotions. You headbutted someone in the chest.
Right,
You got a
yeah,
red
yeah.
card for it. But the reaction was just, I couldn't picture the equal of that in America.
Yeah, English football fans are different, aren't they? They're very, very aggressive.
Because that was was it the Euros? It was when he was playing for England.
Well, that's what they were saying, that he lost whatever that tournament was for them,
for
isn't
the
it?
country.
But do you not just think British football fans are built different? It's just a lot of
Yeah.
anger. Right? Would you agree or not?
Oh, definitely.
So maybe that's what it is. But you've got to remember as well, the documentary is supposed to amplify things.
Of course. He
Right.
wants us to feel bad for him, and then he has a triumphant return and stuff. But
I think from that documentary, he just came across very nice.
Yeah.
Very like a nice boy, very hardworking. Him and Vicky B love each other. And like,
he's a
and
bit obsessed.
sames.
What, you're obsessed with me?
I'm obsessed with Bex.
Oh, okay.
But he is, I think as well, because they're so cute at the beginning and it stood the test of time. They've got like 4 kids now, and they're still together. And it's just like, oh, it's just a nice love story, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of cute. But yeah, the documentary was really good. I enjoyed I enjoyed watching it with you and showing you like legends.
Yeah. And I kept asking you, like, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Like,
Yeah,
how did
yeah.
you react?
But also as well, David Beckham is not my type on paper, but my God, he's a good looking man.
Yeah.
Jesus. Beck's with a skinhead and the upturned collar. Wow.
No, when he had the long, like, Real Madrid ponytail Bex.
Oh, the pony and with the
Yeah.
headband. Or you just like the ponytail?
Yeah, I thought that was a good look for him.
I just remember when he did the skinhead, then that was like everyone in England had a skinhead then.
Yeah.
It was like the trend
I
for a
don't
while.
understand how that's controversy, though.
What?
They made that was like the trailer for the documentary was like, he came in and he had a hat on. Like, okay.
I think
Like, bald is a look, right?
Yeah.
Especially, you look at the NBA, freaking half the league is bald. Because as soon as anyone starts to lose a little bit of a hairline, shave
I think
the whole
it's
thing.
because his hair was a hot topic.
True.
And then he had a bit of beef with Sir Alex, and then he took it. And then
Okay.
he did, I think it was something like that.
That's
But what else I took from that documentary that I really loved is Gary Neville.
yeah.
What a gift that man is.
He's just like a normal guy. He's
just a bloke.
He's just a bloke.
He's just a lad like fucking Elbex. Like, did you see that video where it's him abseiling down the side of
The hell is abseiling?
oh, what's it called?
I don't know.
Come on.
Like rappelling? Or is it down the
Rappelling?
side of,
Yeah, abseiling.
like down the side of a cliff, and you're on a rope and you're letting yourself down.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
that called?
We call it rappelling.
I've never heard it called that.
Well, I've never heard it called abseiling. We're from different countries.
We are different.
This is well established now, 5 episodes in.
Wait, I gotta find it for you because it's dead funny. God, I watch too much stuff. Oh, and also the Amsterdam thing, the Amsterdam dad story has been debunked.
Yep.
So before I find that other thing, the absolutely thing, so Lad Bible, actually, it's Lad Bible via Vice Media, have said, so it was funny while it lasted. The viral Amsterdam dad story has finally been debunked. An investigation by Vice Media has found that no such glory hole exists. So basically,
Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that, and people can Google it.
okay,
That's
but
the statement.
basically it wasn't true.
Yeah, there's no room where you push a button and then you can see what's on the other side. Let's just leave it at that.
That is what they say.
If you're curious and disgusting, you can Google it.
I'm not gonna be able to find that video, am I?
Also, should we share this book?
Oh, here it is.
Should we share this book with a friend of ours?
Okay, so just hang on. So just back to Gary Neville.
We don't have ADD.
What?
I said we don't have ADD at all.
Sorry, I know, sorry. So Gary Neville is the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yep.
In that documentary, because it's very like dramatic music, close up to Bex, he's crying, posh, slow-mo. It's all just very dramatic. And then occasionally you just get Gary like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah,
it was
just
crazy.
sat in a pub.
The gaff of this, the gaff of that. Like, I just like, oh my God, I love how normal you are and you're so rich. But then I saw this the other night and it just seems like, I don't have my finger on the UK football pulse, but it does seem like they've got quite a good like gang of guys repping UK football, like the OGs. They've plucked out the funny ones. They've got Mika Richards, they've got Roy Keane, they've got Gary Neville. What's he called? The Scouse guy?
Jamie Carragher.
Jamie Carragher. Like, do you know what I mean? They've got quite a few good pundits, like in the basketball where you've got Shaq and Chuck.
Yeah,
what's it
Shaq
called?
and Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley, and those are the two. There is two
Kenny
more.
and EJ.
Yeah. They've got like, what's that show called that they're on?
I don't know. Inside the NBA.
You have to know the name, but it's like a panel show, and they're just so funny.
Yeah.
So I'm glad the UK's got something out. But yeah, I saw this video. This is pretty funny.
Come on, you shit bag! The only man who ever did an abseil whose heart rate went down! Hey, look at that shitty little badge I'm past! You'll never walk alone! I fucking am!
So Gary Neville is abseiling down the side of the Liverpool stadium, and Liverpool's slogan is "You'll never walk alone." And Jamie Carragher has just shit bagged out of it. I just love his commentary, don't you?
Yeah.
He's funny. And I used to think, are they funny or is Mika Richards just leading it? Because he's so funny.
He's so funny.
And he's so like, what's it called? Contagious, like his
Yeah.
laughter. He's like Francis. Like he's just so funny. So I was thinking, do they all just feed off his energy? Do you get what I mean? Like if he wasn't there, would it be? But no, they're all just dead funny.
Well, I've heard people ask, like, was he like that in the locker room and off camera and stuff? And they were like, that's him through and through. Like
he's so nice.
Yeah, and he's so funny.
He's so contagious.
Yeah, and Kate Abdo just rips him apart. I don't even follow football, but I get recommended those shorts
exactly.
all the time.
Exactly.
It's so entertaining.
Ripping his shorts, pronouncing things wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good business model, them lot.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh, I've got a bone to pick. We were talking about it a bit this morning.
Okay.
No baby ever has looked exactly like one of the parents.
Jim.
It doesn't happen.
Jim.
It doesn't happen.
That's not fair.
I'm not saying kids can't eventually, you could look at a family photo when the kid's like 8
Right.
and be like, oh my God, you look exactly like your mom. Mm-hmm. You got the same eyes, you got the same ears, nose, things like that. The
Yeah.
smile,
Yeah.
some of the manner. Every time in my life I've ever been showed a baby and asked, oh, doesn't it look exactly like Johnny? I'm like, no, it doesn't look anything like Johnny.
But why is it that some people, maybe it's like that thing that went viral where it's like, what color dress is this? It's like some people can just see it and some people can't.
I don't think so. That's something that, like, there's colorblind people, there's subjective, there's, you see that, like, is the horse walking forward or backwards? That's like how your brain sees things.
No, honestly, I think that's what it is. I just don't think you can, I don't think you've got the imagination or the, I don't know, you just, what's that noise? Did you hear something? Did you hear that though?
Yeah.
That's so weird. I just don't think you've got that thing in your brain where you can just see that cuteness of that link.
No, I'm convinced that if you took a picture of that baby and then a lineup of like 8 possible parents, you wouldn't get it.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I just think you need to just loosen up a bit and just let the miracle of birth be.
But how am I supposed to react in that situation? Because I'm socially awkward anyways. But when people ask me, especially if they say, who do you think they look like?
Yeah.
Neither.
Why don't you just do that and just see where you go?
Just make one up.
No, just say neither. So it doesn't look like any. Are we sure Liam's even the dad? Just say that. Just see where that goes. Just try it.
I think
Why are you trying to conform? If that is what you think in a situation, just own it.
I think it's just, is that your phone?
No, I can hear. I must be next door.
Might be another office. Hey! So real life Jurassic Park is happening.
What do you mean?
You heard about this?
With the woolly mammoth?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So they're taking woolly mammoth DNA
Yeah.
and making like an embryo out of it and then planting that in an elephant. And I don't know, because they're the closest genetic relative,
Right.
like a surrogate elephant. And I think it's 2 years, however long it takes for an elephant to have a baby, but that baby will be a woolly mammoth. And this is happening in 2024 in Siberia or Russia or something. But
For what?
this-
For what purpose?
science,
It's cool.
this is how it starts. This is literally how Jurassic Park started.
But what? What is the need?
I don't know.
Because it's pretty cool.
I get my news by headlines. I don't
Right.
really like read in depth and kind of know what's going on.
Maybe because it's cool. Like if you were a chef and you had a bit of time, you might now try and make a curry with a flair, or you might try and put something in pastry. So maybe it's that kind of thing. Like maybe these scientists are like, let's just see what we can do with this. Because that is pretty cool to make a woolly mammoth.
They're trying to play God.
Are woolly mammoths are they predators? Like what do they eat?
No, surely they're like elephants.
That's what I mean. So maybe you can't make like saber-toothed tigers.
Right.
Well, maybe you could. Maybe this is just testing the water.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
see
the
how-
problem is this is step 1.
But a woolly mammoth is very like, what's the opposite of invasive? No, it's very invasive. It's a very like not discreet animal to make.
No.
It's not like they're making a cat or a hamster. They're making like a fucking 15-foot four-legged beast.
Yeah, like tons.
They're making a few. Oh,
Tons of weight.
yeah.
Yeah, surely they're making a bunch.
Are they putting them in a zoo or in the wild? They have to.
I don't
They have
know.
to be in a zoo
Yeah,
and monitor them.
it's a park, and
Wow.
if people go,
Wow. Do you
gonna
think
die.
they'll ever make dinosaurs?
if this works, they'll try. But
Wow.
what would they put a dinosaur? Oh, it's an egg, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So they don't need to put it in like a new animal.
So they could just make it.
They could just make it.
We don't know anything about science,
No,
but we know that in the movie, it doesn't end up well.
never.
But yeah, I think this was a good little pod actually. We just kind of went on a bit of a rant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I need to get a bit better with making the reels. We've just had a lot of life stuff going on because unfortunately, this is not our full-time occupation, and sometimes life just gets in the way. But I will get better with posting more reels. I really, really wanted to do like 4 reels per pod, and it's kind of slowed down recently. But I will get back into it. I think the more we get into doing the pod and get into a bit more of a better flow, the less editing I'll have to do,
Right.
making more time. Because I don't think there's much I need to cut out of this. I was quite happy with the way it went down.
Yeah, just a little like and move. Put the UFC bits back together.
Yeah, I'll just let it as
Maybe
it
this
is.
bit.
No, I can't. I might. Oh, fuck knows. No, I might just keep it as it is. There was a very cool story about a guy. My brother told me about this, and he thought that you would appreciate this story. There was a guy. So basically, 5 months ago, Jim had his appendix out, right? Your appendix ruptured,
That was great.
and it was pretty horrific.
Yeah.
So basically, there's a guy in Russia in, what year was this? It was like in the 1600s. No, it was in 1961. There's a guy in Russia. We've talked about Russia a lot today. Leonid Rogozov. And he was on an expedition in the Antarctica. There was a few of them. I think he's a scientist. And I think there was a few, maybe there was like half a dozen of them. And he started to feel weird. He started to feel weak, nauseous, and then he started to get this really weird pain down one side of his body. But because he's a doctor, he's actually a surgeon, he was able to diagnose that there was something wrong with his appendix, and he had appendicitis. So, because they were in the middle of nowhere, it took them, how long did it take them? It took them 36 days by sea to get there, and there was no flying available because it's 1961, and there's snow and blizzards, and the ship wouldn't be back for another year. That's how long this expedition thing is. So he diagnosed himself with with appendicitis and ended up having to give himself surgery.
No.
Yeah, so he literally, there's pictures of it, he literally had to open himself up like a sleeping bag. And yeah, so he had facilities, like he had the tools and stuff, and there was like a camp where he
Could
could
he numb
go.
himself?
I don't know, but that's him literally taking out his own appendix.
What?
And he said, like, when he opened it up, he was able to know where to go. The appendix was like a dark color, and he got it out, sewed himself up, and and recovered from it.
Even just like seeing inside would
Yeah.
be quite difficult.
So it says here, he had to open his own abdomen to take his intestines out. He didn't know if it was humanly possible. So he worked out all the plans before he did it, and he nominated some assistants, someone to position the lamp, and even to hold a mirror. So he was using a mirror to look down.
Do you know how hard that would be? Have you ever tried to like I'm sure you do makeup and stuff all the time, but when you look in a mirror and you like reach the wrong way. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's all
exactly.
flipped.
Yeah, exactly. General anesthetic was out of the question.
Of course.
So
Local
he was
though?
So he was able to administer a local anesthetic to his abdomen wall, but once he had cut through, removing the appendix, it would have to be done without further pain relief in order to keep his head clear. So the more,
Oh, yeah.
So the more drugs you put in, it's going
Can't
to
be loopy.
exactly. My poor assistants, at the last minute I took over at them. They stood there in surgical whites, whiter than white themselves. I was scared too, but when I picked up the needle with the Novocaine and gave myself the first injection, somehow I automatically switched into operating mode. And from that point on, I didn't notice anything else.
God, my toes are like curled in my shoes right now.
He
Oh,
was bleeding quite heavy. Yeah. He didn't fail. And so it took him 2 hours to do as well, which is good time. Yours took like 2 hours.
yeah.
After nearly 2 hours, he had completed the operation down to the final stitch. Then, before allowing himself to rest, he instructed his assistants how to wash everything. That was like a burp, by the way. I wasn't like throwing up. Surgical, and only when the room was clean and tidy did he take some antibiotics and sleeping tablets. So he's such a good doctor. He's like doing everything by the book. He kept his cool. You do this, you do that, you clean this. Okay, everyone out. Now I'm going to go to sleep. So organized.
It's unbelievable.
Hope you're having a fucking panic attack. It was a staggering achievement. Most importantly, he was relieved because he had another chance to live.
That's,
How?
you think a tattoo artist, the first question is like, oh, do you ever tattoo yourself? This guy sliced himself open.
And took. So, what do you have to take the appendix out? Take the bad thing out?
Yeah, you need to cut it off for whatever it's attached to.
There's a picture here. I don't know if this is it, but that might be it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's his, but that's a swollen appendix.
That's
yeah.
him. What a guy.
Yeah. Great head of hair.
Cool as a cucumber. And he got like rewards and stuff. What is one thing you think you could do well to yourself?
What? What do you mean?
Because like sometimes you can't even do your own beard.
Yeah.
I struggle. Sometimes I can't even do my own hair.
I can do my beard. It's just better if someone else does it.
Same with
My
surgery.
barber's on holiday now, though, so
Same with surgery.
yeah, no, I wouldn't do that myself.
But you know, like sometimes when you're in fight or flight mode, something just kicks in. Like that movie we
That's
watched.
different, though.
But like that movie we watched, 127 Hours, spoiler alert, he cuts his own arm off because he gets stuck in a rock.
Yeah.
Like that is literally survival mode. Like your brain just goes somewhere else. So like for him, because he's a surgeon,
Yeah.
he's like, this needs to happen. He probably thought, I might as well try or I'm going to die anyway.
You know what, though? I think that's scarier if you're a doctor. If you're just some guy, right, and your arm's stuck and you're about to die, like, it's this or die, okay, hack it off. But, like, when you have the knowledge of everything that can go wrong, everything that you need to do, if I do this without the right antiseptics or whatever, I could get this infection. Things would be, there's like ignorance is bliss for the other guy.
Yeah, true.
But this guy knows
True.
every little detail of what he's doing and every impact, positive or negative, that it could have. So the pressure of that as well.
Mad. Oh, but they do say, even said there that it was a routine procedure. And when you were going in for yours, they were like, it's routine. Like, this is so standard. Like, they made it seem
Yeah, but
like...
then it wasn't.
But they make it seem like for a hairdresser, it's like putting in a fringe.
Right.
But for you, yeah, it was like putting in a fringe. They found out you had this. Yeah, yours was bad. Yours had spread. That's what it was. Yours had spread way
Mine
more.
it had properly ruptured. Yeah. I had it for a week.
Ugh. And we just thought you had food poisoning.
Yeah.
But you survived.
Survived.
Do you feel like you got a new lease of life?
No.
Oh.
I thought that would happen. I thought I'd come out of it and be like,
Inspired, but you're just still on the couch.
yep, just trucking along.
God. Maybe one day you will. But yeah, sorry, by the way, I'm holding you accountable. You've still not done your jump.
I know. So I found the place, and open dive is only once a week for an hour.
Also, Dubai has got absolutely everything, but finding a place with a diving board is like the hardest thing in the
No,
world.
I found it.
Yeah, but there's only one.
Yeah,
But can you not just jump off the side of the pool? Or is that harder?
I can, but that's just not that high.
Can you jump off the side of the pool without your head going under?
Easily. Very easily.
Even that. Oh yeah, but then if you could stand up.
No, it's just not as much speed. The higher you are, the faster you're
You
going.
think you could jump in without getting your face wet?
Easily. Off the edge of a pool,
Can we do it tonight before you go
Sure.
work? And we'll just get
easy. It's obviously it's harder from a 3-meter springboard, but
Let's make it happen then. Boo.
the thing that I don't know, I'll put the disclaimer. I'm a little bit bigger than I was when I was in college when I used to do this. I don't know if that's going to help me or hurt me. I might have more surface area that slows me down even more, and I'm just bobbing on my belly. Or
Bobbing on your belly, you gave it away, so you go belly
No.
first.
oh god, no! You break your neck
Like a
doing
seal.
a belly flop. Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this up. Is there anything you want to say to the people?
Thank you for the support.
Oh,
Thank you for the messages.
Aw.
Any good stories? We love a good story. Any fun facts?
Oh, I think I have a nice ending story to end on. You know, we were talking before about burnt toast theory. Do you want to just quickly talk about that?
Yeah.
Because I have something.
I love this theory and I'm a firm believer in it. Basically, the theory is like if you burnt your toast in the morning, that might put you 30 seconds behind in your routine. So literally for the rest of that day, that 30 seconds could have mean that you get stopped at a red light when you normally would have gone through. And impact. There could have been like a car accident where you end up dying. That if you hadn't burnt the toast, you wouldn't have been, you would have just kind of brushed past each other. So I think the funny thing of that is when you can trace the roots of any situation back to like, oh, well, this wouldn't have happened if we didn't do this and didn't do that. And then you just put the ends together and go, okay, well, this happened because of that.
Because of the toilet. What was the one you
Oh,
were
yeah.
talking about?
It was a comedian's bit. I don't remember which comedian, but basically there was this couple that had kind of a meet cute. You know, they bumped into each other at Home Depot and they hit it off and they ended up dating, married, had a kid. But if you trace back the origins to why they were at the Home Depot, was the guy was there because his roommate clogged the toilet because he took a massive shit. So you can connect the dots and say that the only reason that that baby, that human being exists and everything that he could go on to win a Nobel Prize and change the world because this guy's roommate clogged a toilet.
That guy's roommate took a big poo.
Yeah. So I wonder, like, what level in my origin story, you know, it could be we would never have met. This wouldn't be happening if.
Well, it'd probably be like your mum and dad meeting or something like that.
You
Could
can
even
pick
go-
any, or even just us moving to Dubai, or
This is in that same sort of
okay.
genre. Same sort of topic. Okay, my dad died. Classic start to a funny story. He was buried in a small village in Sussex. I was really close to my dad, so I visited his grave a lot. I still do. Don't worry, it gets funnier. I always took flowers, and my mum visited a lot, and she always took flowers, and my grandparents were still alive then, and they always took flowers. My dad's grave frequently resembled a solid third place at a Chelsea flower show. Loads of flowers. Nice, but I felt bad for the guy buried next to my dad. He never had flowers. He died on Christmas Day, age 37. No one left him flowers, and now there's a pop-up florist in the grave next door. So I started buying him flowers. I started buying flowers for a deceased man I'd never met. I did this for quite some time, but I never mentioned it to anyone. It was a little private joke with myself. I was making the world a better place, one bunch of flowers at a time. I know it sounds weird, but I came to think of him as a friend. I wondered if there was a hidden connection between us, something secretly drawing me to him. Maybe he went to the same school, played for the same football club, or whatever. So I Googled his name, and 10 seconds later I found him. His wife didn't leave him flowers because he'd murdered her on Christmas Day. After he murdered his wife, he murdered her parents too. And after that, he jumped in front of the only train going through Balcombe Tunnel that Christmas night. That was why no one ever left him flowers. No one except me. Of course, I left him flowers. I left him flowers every couple of weeks for 2.5 years. I felt terrible for his wife and her parents. Now, I wasn't going to leave them flowers every couple of weeks for 2.5 years, but I did feel like I owed them some sort of an apology. I found out where they were buried, bought flowers, and drove to the cemetery. As I was standing at their graves, mumbling apologies, a woman appeared behind me. She wanted to know who I was and why I was leaving flowers at for her aunt and grandparents. Awkward.
Oh, so she bumped into a family member.
Because he was just there mumbling and
Yeah.
I explained and she said, okay, that's weird, but quite sweet. I said, thanks. Yes, it's a bit weird. And oh God, I asked her out for a drink. Incredibly, she said yes. 2 years later, she said yes again when I asked her to marry me because this is how I met my wife.
Unbelievable.
And it says roller coaster of emotions. I think that's a great way to end the show.
So she's a relative
Yeah.
of the people who got murdered by her uncle.
Yeah.
And he was giving her uncle flowers for 2.5 years.
He was giving the
murderer.
the victims flowers saying sorry.
After the fact, yeah.
Cool story.
Yeah. So this is going back one more step to make it a bit weirder.
Yeah.
If her uncle didn't kill her mom and grandparents, or her aunt and grandparents,
She would never have met
she
her
wouldn't
husband.
be happily married.
There you go. That's probably why he did it.
Silver lining. Jesus.
Okay, love you. Should we high five, fist bump?
I don't know, my hands are clammy.
Okay. You know, Parent Trap.
I do. Do you?
Wait, no. And it's like a bum hit.
No, that's the way Taylor Swift did it.
Oh, yeah. All right, bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Good show.
Yeah.
Rude Awakening.
Hands are so like rigid. when
You guys are killing it. Rude Awakening.